My girlfriend's parents showed up and immediately took over my house. Emily and I have been together almost 3 years. And honestly, her parents, Karen and Bill, have never exactly liked me. They live in the Midwest. And according to them, California is basically a giant, sun-soaked disaster. And Los Angeles? Even worse. Last week, a massive snowstorm hit their area. Suddenly, it was safer to stay with us in Southern California. I came home from work on Tuesday and found them napping in the master bedroom. Not the guest room. The master. I stood there for a second, then said calmly, the guest room is yours. After plenty of sighing and eye-rolling, they finally moved. Friday night, we went out to dinner. Nothing was good enough. They spent the entire meal muttering about how they preferred Taco Bell or Chipotle. I just nodded and counted the minutes until we could leave. But the next morning, that's when things escalated. They asked if they could borrow my car to run errands and see tourist spots. I drive a heavily modified Ford Mustang. 500 horsepower. Manual transmission. They haven't driven stick in decades. I politely said no and offered to rent them a car through my work. Great rates. Easy solution. Apparently, not acceptable. Then came the real shock. They wanted to take my 1965 Pontiac GTO convertible. Their lifelong dream, they said, was cruising the Pacific Coast Highway in a classic car. I nearly choked on my coffee. That GTO has been in my care for years. And the Pacific Coast Highway? One spark away from turning into a wildfire nightmare. Absolutely not. After a long, tense back and forth, they finally agreed to the mid-sized rental I arranged. But that was just day one. And something tells me, 10 days of their vacation in my house is going to feel like a very long ride. I thought the car situation was the worst of it. I was wrong. After the rental car incident, I figured things would calm down. They had their own room. They had transportation. What else could possibly go wrong? Saturday afternoon, I get a notification from my security camera. I open it casually and freeze. Bill is in my garage, just standing there, right next to the GTO. At first, I tell myself maybe he's just looking around. Then I see him reach for the door handle. I walk outside immediately and ask what he's doing. He says he just wanted to sit in it for a minute. Apparently, he used to own something similar years ago and just wanted to feel nostalgic. I told him, calmly but firmly, that the car isn't a museum exhibit. It's locked for a reason. He didn't argue, but the look on his face said everything. Later that night, Emily pulls me aside and tells me her parents feel unwelcome. Unwelcome. In my own house. The same house where they claimed the master bedroom on day one. I didn't even know how to respond to that. Then Sunday happened. I walked into the kitchen to make coffee and immediately knew something was off. The plates were moved. The spices were in different cabinets. The coffee machine was unplugged and shifted to the other side of the counter. I stood there for a second, just staring. When I asked what happened, Karen smiled and said she was improving the flow. Improving the flow. In a house she doesn't live in. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just a visit anymore. It felt like a quiet takeover. And we were only 3 days in. At first it was small things. Rearranging furniture. Criticizing how we organized the kitchen. Making suggestions. Then it escalated. They tried to claim our master bedroom. Her dad asked to drive my cars. I caught him in my garage near my classic GTO. By the end of the week, I was done. I came home from work and knew something was off. The garage door was open. My tools were laid out across the driveway, and my GTO was halfway backed out. Her dad stood there casually and said, I was just taking it around the block. Loosening it up. Loosening it up. I walked over, took the keys from his hand, and said calmly, that car does not move unless I'm driving it. He laughed, like I was overreacting. That's when something snapped. Inside, her mom was rearranging the kitchen again. I called my girlfriend into the living room and said, this ends tonight. She defended them. They don't mean anything by it. They're just helping. You're being dramatic. Dramatic? They tried to take our bedroom, rearranged our house, almost drove my car without permission. I told her parents they had two options. Option 1, I booked them a hotel across town. Option 2, they pack and leave tonight. Silence. Her dad argued. Her mom looked offended. I didn't budge. This was my house, my space, my boundaries. After a tense standoff, they chose the hotel. I booked 3 nights and drove them there myself. The ride was quiet. When I got home, the house finally felt like mine again. No open garage, no cabinet chaos, no uninvited improvements, just peace. And I made one thing clear. If anyone ever tries to take over my home again, they won't even get a hotel.